Hi, I'm Barbara Jean Carey, and you are watching The Confident Mind. I love this show because it's all about you. Now, as you know, I have a certain formula to my show, but today we're doing things differently. I have a fabulous guest on, and because of that, I am dedicating the whole half hour to him, and believe me, you will be so happy that I did. He is the founder and formulator of a health and skincare company called Epicuren Discovery. And I know a lot of you are very familiar about Epicuren, so I can't wait to get started. He is a molecular and theoretical biochemist. He created and developed this thought system called SAIOE, and he wrote a book on it. And the book is fabulous and wonderful, and I can't wait until you read it. I read it and I loved it. Now, he also teaches this thought process through seminars, through workshops, and as a matter of fact, he has one coming up in August that we will talk about later in the show. So, without any further ado, I would love to welcome to the show Mr. Robert Heiman. Hi, Robert. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I am blessed and honored for you to be here.
Well, I'm blessed and honored to be with you and your energy.
Well, I'm loving this. And, you know, speaking of energy, when I first met you was at one of your seminars. And when you were up there, it was Deepak Chopra was there. Right. And I'm watching you. And, yeah, Deepak Chopra was great, and I enjoyed him. But when you got up there to speak, I thought, I have to get to know this guy. And once I did, I loved your energy, and I absolutely loved the book, and that's why I'm so honored to have our audience really share in all of the joy and all of the thought process and everything that you bring, and they are going to benefit so much. You are going to benefit so much from this. Okay, so Robert, here you are, a man, and you are starting a skincare company. Now, I don't mean to be biased or prejudiced or anything like that, but most of the time men aren't the ones that establish it. So tell us from the beginning, how did this all come about?
Well, actually, you're very correct. The last thing in the world I ever thought I would be is someone involved with skincare. But actually, when I was in my 20s, actually late teens, early 20s, I developed a disease called vitiligo. And a lot of your audience probably have heard that term, and they're trying to think of where they heard it. And it's Michael Jackson actually made it famous.
Oh.
And he actually he lost the pigmentation in his skin. And this is he helped helped it along, because at some point it began to take over, and he just kind of helped it along so that medically, so that his skin would have an even texture. So he basically went from dark skin to light skin.
Okay.
At the time, I thought, well, whatever it is, I'm going to find out and get it treated and get it fixed, because, you know, I was basically brought up in a generation that, you know, doctor knows and doctor's going to fix. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor didn't seem to have too much of a grasping of it, and he basically said, well, he said, there's not too much we can do about it, but we can do this and that. And so I went to a few different dermatologists, and none of them knew. And so finally, my good friend Kurt Bryan was basically studying medicine at university at Brooklyn Medical College. And he said, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Spoor. Great name, isn't it, for a dermatologist? And Dr. Spoor was a professor of medicine at the medical school, and he was a dermatologist. And so I got to meet with him. And that's when after talking to him quite a while, he said to me, when he saw that I wasn't very happy about not getting any answers, he said, dermatology is the closest thing to witchcraft in medicine.
And how did that make you feel when he said that? Because here you're going to doctor after doctor after doctor, and here's like this guy that he said, okay, we're going to send you to him. Well, and he tells you that.
Actually, what happened is, you know, as soon as you have a disease or a problem, the first thing you do is you give your power up. You give it up to the doctor.
Right.
And now you find out that the doctor doesn't have any power.
So how did that make you feel? What was your thought process going on in that moment when you gave your power up to a doctor and he doesn't know what's going on?
Well, it was fear.
Fear, exactly.
And it was actually more than that, because what the doctor said was that there's no way of stopping it. And that actually the vitiligo is going to begin to spread. It will spread all over your body, and within 5 years you're going to be albino.
Did you buy that? Did you buy what he said?
Well, I realized, I love to be out in the sun. I played sports. I was a lifeguard. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be basically I'm going to be an albino. I'm going to be allergic to the sun is what's going to happen. So I became intensely interested in skin. And I started college, and I was studying agricultural engineering, and took an interest in skin and in the biochemistry of skin. And then I got some help, because my uncle actually was a good friend of Dr. E.J. Jacob, who was head of the Nobel conglomerate, and he was friendly with Dr. Abraham Minton and Dr. Jim Baker, both of which were head of the World Cosmetic Association during the 70s, this was. And so I had access to mentors, and I began to learn about skin at a molecular level. And then I realized that there was no way that my vitiligo was going to go away unless I was able to change the skin. So the process of trying to do that evolved. What happened was skincare evolved to change the skin. So all of a sudden, something that was not going on was we're able to diminish lines, we're able to add elasticity to the skin, we're able to do all these things that no other skincare product could do, because the approach was, what's the inner nature of skin? And so I created what I call aerobics of skin. It was a genetic, you have a genetic ability to improve anything when it's energized.
Right.
So the idea was to energize the skin, and that's the thought processes that went into the creation of Epicuren.
So Robert, here you are a teenager, and they're basically saying to you, within 5 years you're going to be an albino. And you did not take no for an answer in your mind, because I know you said that you are, all of a sudden you were available to mentors, but as you and I both know, things just don't happen by coincidence. Things just don't happen. You created that. You created these mentors that came in. So never in a million years thinking that you would be going into skincare, but you started off with a problem. And that problem had to do with your skin. And you knew within you that you were able to go out and solve that problem.
That's correct.
And not only did you solve it, but you created an extremely successful company to help so many other people.
Yeah, well, actually, it was the beginning of thought processes that changed my life, because I realized that there was a knowing, that there was information, and it became extremely important to me. It's kind of like if someone has cancer, they begin to have a different approach and understanding and energetic relationship with the cancer. It's part of who you are. It's kind of like when you buy a car, you buy a new Jaguar, say, and then you're driving it down the road and you notice every other Jaguar on the road.
Right, exactly.
There's an awareness. So and attention to is the key to achievement.
Attention, listen to this audience. Attention to is the key to achievement. I love that. Okay, go on.
So I had a lot of attention to it, and it was a problem, because you can't just start a skincare company.
Right.
So I couldn't get into agricultural engineering without having millions of dollars to buy a big farm or ranch or something like that. So I basically went into construction and developmental construction work, and I used that money over a period of 20, 25 years to support a skincare company, because I wanted that skincare company to come up with an answer to the vitiligo. So I was basically never gave up. I had this intense interest in finding a way to improve the skin, and it was quite a gift, because when I found the way, I never completely solved the vitiligo problem, but I solved the rapid spreading of it.